If you're like me, tying off prefab mesh on end assemblies is one of your worst jobs. Abracadabra, the fence magician. This is the Fence Magician tool from Wireman, and I'm keen to see how it goes on prefabricated mesh at end assemblies, particularly with this high tensile 2.8 stuff they like to put on the tops and bottoms these days. On with the speed dealers, let's give it a whirl. Now just before we start, yes, this tool will fit either a DeWalt or a Milwaukee straight out of the pack. There is an adapter so that it will fit Milwaukee tools, so you can calm down if you follow that team. So the Fence Magician just simply slides onto the front of your drill and you do up a couple of nuts and you're done, you've fitted it. The first thing you're going to notice is that there is a second trigger mechanism in front of the drill trigger, and that is the trigger that you pull to open the jaws at the front and allow you to push it onto the wire. It's really important when you put this onto the wire that you ensure the wire is seated properly on both sides. Just give it a little bit of a jiggle and that will bed it in and make sure that it doesn't come off the wire while you're using it. The next thing that's important to note is these beveled knurls. These spin round at about a 20-to-1 gearing advantage, so they put a lot of pressure onto the wire. It's really important to keep your fingers away from the moving mechanism when you're using this tool. This is not something to give to your kids to play with. Using this is pretty straightforward. There are a couple of simple steps that you follow. The first one is, of course, pull the trigger and open the jaws and slot this down over the top of the expansion crimp. When you let go, the machine should be able to hang on to the wire by itself. These two brass jaws should be fully closed. Now we're going to start our termination knot. We're going to bring our tail always underneath the line wire into the jaws of the Fence Magician. Now we're going to engage the drill in the reverse position and pull the trigger slowly. And we're going to bend the tail around till we've made a horseshoe. Now you're still going to need to bend the horseshoe in the knot. And the secret is then get the tail lined up so it's 90 degrees to the line wire. Now put the drill back on the tail and engage it in the forwards gear and slowly twist your tail around for the first 1 or 2 turns until it gets itself set up, and then you can increase the speed. So what did you do today, son? I dug a hole. This made it a lot easier tying off the 2.85 wire on the bottom run. I know if you've done that sort of job before, like me, you hate it, but it's made a consistent, nice, tight, neat knot. There was still a bit of stuffing around, but this made a huge difference in the tying off ability of that bottom knot. So the Fence Magician, first time out, how was it to use? It took a little bit of getting used to, probably 4 or 5 knots in. I started to get the hang of driving it through every motion. It doesn't tie the whole knot for you, but what it does do is take away the effort in doing those tight twists, particularly on the knots near the ground and on the larger diameter wire that they're throwing into prefabricated mesh these days because someone thought it would be a good idea. This tool's not for everyone. It's going to be for someone who regularly ties off knots, particularly in prefabricated mesh. You are going to want to look after it, you are going to want to keep it greased, and you are going to want to treat it with some respect. Probably not leave it in the back of your ute, but this has made an absolute impact on the ease at which I could tie off knots on prefab mesh, particularly the one at my feet. I can't go past that. That is just brilliant. Make sure you subscribe so you get plenty more tools, tips and techniques in your inbox every week.